I know there's a ton of great contribution to be had on this call from our friend Kay, who's been listening, and I know she's got a ton of great opinions to share with us. So, Jay, what I'll do is I'll roll the microphone over to Kay just to come to the table and
Mhm.
contribute to this part of our conversation. And Kay, I'd like to invite you to contribute to our conversation
I'm
by
still there.
asking.
Don't worry, I'm here.
Yeah, I believe that you are. We know that you're a force to be reckoned with. We never have to worry about you speaking your mind, and that's what's making this conversation so exciting for us. Is that we know we're going to get a lot of great insight from your contributions. So, what have you learned about yourself, Kay, over the past 3 months or so during this COVID-19 pandemic?
That I'm maybe less strong than I thought. Usually I'm always
Oh
strong,
wow.
nothing can break me down, I'm good. But for the past maybe few weeks, I've been having trouble sleeping, eating. I'm crying sometimes because sometimes it's really hard. We have elderly patient because I'm working in a nursing home, and I have elderly
Mm,
patient dying. So sometimes they were like, I don't know that person that well, but it's still a human being. And they die without their family and everything. So it's taking a toll on my mental. So I realized that, yeah,
yeah.
I'm less stronger than I initially thought.
I hear the expression that you're using less strong than you originally thought. I think, I choose to see it a different way. I think the words that I would use to empower you and to lift you up would be, you've come in face-to-face contact with your humanity. Um, and I think I want to acknowledge both of you and, all the nurses and the people listening to this podcast, this interview, that strength, we've got different perspectives of strength in mind. And I've heard this described this way, where, and this was when I was younger, I thought that being strong was to be solid like a rock and to stand against anything that may come your way. And regardless of what happens when these terrible conditions pass by, you standing strong as a rock would remain. And that's the image of strength that I once had when I was younger. But as I grew older and life and wisdom started to become my friend, I started to get this learning, and it's from the Far East perspective of strength in ancient cultures. They talk about strength in the image of flowing water and the softness with the fluidity, still being able to move with the changes that come in life, and you're still being able to progress. And then the additional thought was layered in that learning experience where the water itself, even though it's liquid, even though it's soft, even though it's fluid and moving, it's still powerful enough over time to even erode a rock and break down the stone. And so when I hear you talking about being less strong, I'm going to take a stand for you, my friend, and say to you,
Thank you.
I'm going to lift you up and say, indeed, it's literally how I feel on the inside. It's like, I'm going to stand with you and say, you know what? I'm going to lift you up and say, you are exceedingly strong. You are exceedingly powerful. You're also very much human, and that humanity is part of your strength. So when you experience empathy, compassion for those who have lost loved ones, like the elderly patients who are dying without family, you actually responding to that emotionally, in my interpretation, is part of your strength, and compassion I view as a strength. So I'm going to lift you up in that way, and I also want to acknowledge. I don't want to be dismissive or unaware of what you said. I can
No,
appreciate.
it's always sure, but it's always nice to say that, no, don't worry, you're strong. But the thing is I think Jay mentioned it. It's about resilience. So yeah, we're feeling like down with your humor, but we still have to move on and continue because we have other patients to take care for, and we also have to be strong for them. So yeah, we're a little bit more fragile mentally, but in another time we have to stay strong for those patients and also for our family, because my mom is like calling me every day, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, ma, I'm good." But in the same time, we sometimes it's hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna hide it. It's really hard sometimes. And I working with nurses, sometimes they're like hiding in the bathroom and crying, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't." And I have many colleagues that take a leave of absence. They leave. They were like, they can do it anymore. So the fact that I'm still working there, I'm like, okay, still a bit of strength left, but for how long? That's the thing. And that's the thing they don't say in the news, is that there's not enough, we're not a lot of nurses. They're like saying the baby, we don't have any baby, and before the nurses they didn't mention it, that we're lacking nurses.